The works in this room deal with the ambiguity between a fictionalized narrative and documentary evidence and archival footage, and they place them together in often quite a humorous way to kind of disentangle the opposition or forces between these two entities. Here we have work by Tegan Williams and Rafael, in which kind of a collage of statements, very poignant statements about how they should solve this detective conspiracy almost, and they're trying to find who murdered this person that was completely fictionalized and made up by the artist. And they've even got some documentary evidence about where the person was last seen, and the people that have last seen them, they interviewed them and videoed them, and these were all compiled into an actual video. They've also created a false newspaper article, and all these kind of very strenuous interviews and detective works in which both the artists become detectives, as we can see their names here, are also kind of melded in with their real life family and friends, and there exists a strange space between the people that they know and people that they recognize, and actually this completely false narrative towards a very directed path that of a murder that never happened. The next work we're going to see is by Jenny Holzer. As we said before, here we have a work by Jenny Holzer. It's a blown-up reproduction of a redacted US government archive in which every part has been censored in black, very contrasting the white paper of it. And they've even crossed out the word secret no form, as if to make explicit what you can't see. And here we also have a work by Samuel Lebeck and Jennifer Lewandowski. Some 3 photographs that have this granulated, uncertain feel in which shots have been actually superimposed on top of each other, so that it's even more uncertain what exactly you're looking at and what exactly the movements are, and it's more and more ambiguous. These hand-painted signs by Law Provost refer not only to themselves but also to what they're not or what they might ideally be, such as this sign over here. They also work with the authoritarian tone of signs, especially in an institution where they often offer advice as to how you should act, and you submit yourself into reading it. Whereas these actually offer a disorientation for the viewer, with a bit of humour as well. And text is used in a similar way in this work by Clive Barker, which is a reproduction of a letter that was sent to him by Wormwood Scrubs prison in London. He had written to his friend Robert Fraser, who had just been arrested with Mick Jagger in 1967. He was an art dealer. And after writing to him, he received this letter in return from the prison, saying that he wasn't allowed to write to his friend until his friend was to write to him. So this is a kind of a reproduction of a communication between 2 friends that never really occurred and could never occur at all. These 3 photographs by artist Amina Benbushta are self-portraits of herself, the artist. The central composition of the photograph draws you in to what would normally be her face or her identity, but she's constantly hiding it. She's shrouding it in either her hair or another object that kind of displaces the identity into the other objects that are seen in the photographs. For example, these metal cages that she seems to be trying to get out of or in movement may be metaphorical, as well as this trap that's just in front of her. These objects are so central to the actual composition that they seem to carry some kind of meaning or identity beyond her personal identity. And they seem to have something to do also with her femininity. Particularly, we can see this in the use of her covering her face up with her hair, her kind of curled strawberry hair that she's concealing. It's quite a luxurious feminine attribute, especially with the materials of her garments. We've got this kind of pale salmon silk skirt, and we've got these velvet dresses and skirts that she's wearing that contrast quite brightly with the silk intricate weaving of the dress over there. This installation by architect Gilles Retsan and his helpers is part of the excavation and stratigraphy project called Memory of Surfaces, in which the past wall layers of the courtauld have been excavated and they've been slightly delayered and released and revealed. This kind of adds on new layers by also by working with the holes that we used in the previous East Wing exhibitions to hang paintings and photographs, and they connect these, kind of playing with this field of the past East Wing exhibitions, and actually creating an interlaying of the spaces with the strings and a spatial kind of play between the past and adding layers in the present with such new technologies such as 3D printers.